One of the things I really like about YouTube and internet stuff generally, really, is how safe it is. How safe it is. I mean, I know it's not entirely safe, but in theory it's pretty damn safe. I suppose I'm reminded of that famous cartoon that was out about 15 years ago when the internet first started. You know, it said it's like a dog on a keyboard, and the caption was, "On the internet nobody knows you're a dog." Quite famous. In fact, I remember when I first moved into education, it was just after that the internet had really broke in the UK and in Europe at least. And I remember doing lectures, you know what I mean? And that was that cartoon of the dog at the keyboard was one of the examples, you know, because it was all very hubristic and slightly breathless. Everyone was terribly excited about what it would mean for personal identity, and everybody was reading Shelley Turkle and all those kind of things. But yeah, why am I talking about dogs? Oh yeah. I mean, that's all a bit old-fashioned now. But the promise, at least for me, which is at least largely realised, I have to say, is something to do with the safety of it, really. And I know it's not entirely safe, but it is pretty damn safe. You know, certainly when I'm on YouTube, I kind of imagine myself in that scene in The Matrix. You know, the bit where Neo is he's inside one of those pods being turned into a battery, as Morpheus says, for the machines, which is daft, really. I mean, you wouldn't turn him into a battery, you'd turn him into a processing unit, you know, CPU. But either way, yeah, I kind of imagine that, but stripped of all the negative associations with that, really. I mean, without these negative associations of, you know, pretty much romantic ideas of what human life should consist of, and also stripped of that layer of meaning where the evil robots are somehow controlling humans, which is a weird thing to want to do. I mean, why an evil robot would want to go to that complex process of teaching humans how to think and speak and put them in a weird world just so you could use them as a battery, I can't imagine. But stripped of all that fairly naff narrative, you know, the idea of spending your life in a pod, or more accurately, having your body extended through wires and tubes and amniotic fluids out into the world, so your senses don't peer through too little, for your eyesight, for example, doesn't simply peer out of two little balls of aqueous jelly stuck in the front of a bone, a kind of bony face, but rather your vision operates across miles and across acres of time, you know what I mean? So it operates through much more complex systems. I mean, I find that really interesting, you know what I mean? We are quite romantically attached to the body, I think, for historical reasons, but there's no reason why we couldn't lock ourselves into pods and have our senses extended into a world which is different, and of course which is safer. I know in the Matrix it isn't entirely safe. If you die in the Matrix, you kind of die in real life, but again, that was just that's just a kind of narrative effect, really. There's no reason why that would be the case. Yeah, I quite like the idea of that, you know what I mean? It's completely safe. You know, it does seem like a logical evolution that you know, why should our skin be the outermost layer of our being, when we can extend the outermost layer of our being out into much more interesting kinds of places and operating systems. So yeah, anyway, just to return to what I'm saying, that's one of the things I like about being hunched over a computer for hours at a time, uploading and downloading videos, or just doing other stuff, you know what I mean? You have to really work hard to hurt me from your side of the camera. In fact, you know, the most offensive things are things like giving out personal information. And there's a good reason for that, because that's almost like reaching inside someone's skin and squeezing their internal organs. You know, it is very invasive to do that in almost a literal sense. You know, if the personal space that you as a being seem to inhabit and control is not confined to the limits of your skin, but is out there at the limits of your camera or the limits of your message board, then it does start to matter if someone, as I say, gives that person information. So yeah, that's safety. Yeah, I mean, psychology needs to catch up with that, I think. You know, I still get offended when people call me a cunt. For a while, I'm getting over it. I came across a video the other day where I won't give the user's name out, but this particular person said was singing that conference report is a cunt. Sang it quite well actually, had a nice voice, but I was affronted for a while, for 10-15 minutes. I was hurt, and I could feel the hurt as if someone was standing here saying it, you know what I mean? And I could feel my, all the responses which would be appropriate to having someone, who actually can affect your physical well-being in some way. I was feeling all the responses like that. It wasn't, as I say, until 10 or 15 minutes later, when that had subsided, that I was able to, to kind of get with the program really and think, oh, this person, this expression that I've come across here is not dangerous to me in any way. It can't hurt me. It's just a set of sounds and meanings which I can choose to engage with or not. I'm not obliged to. Yeah. And not all of the psychologies, the positive psychologies as well. So fascinating stuff. I don't know what'll become of that, whether we ever will eventually evolve a psychology which allows us to behave in a more appropriate way. Beg your pardon?
What are you doing?
I'm making a video, a YouTube video.
Really?
I make them every day.
All right.
Usually with my dog.
Yeah. Just couldn't understand what you were doing.
Yeah, if I get an idea in my head, I just say it aloud to the camera and then put it on YouTube.
All right. Fair enough.
Go on, pup. And now she's on YouTube. I don't know her name. I've never met that particular person before. And of course, that's the kind of interaction which you probably noticed. Actually, I kind of feel myself when I was talking to that person. I could feel my my body going through the similar kind of things. I could feel my face contracting into that rictus grin that you always put yourself into when you meet somebody. You know what I mean? Like I do it every single time I go on these walks. But I don't grin at people on the internet. Because it's daft, it's ancient psychology, built around the logic of atoms, not the logic of pixels. Yeah, welcome to the Matrix. I fucking love it. There's my dogs, they're swimming. They're made of atoms, la la la.